This is KATU News at 11 on your side.
I think, of course, it's very scary to not know where this came from.
It's been nearly a month since a frightening knife attack critically injured an 18-year-old Portland woman. The stranger-on-stranger crime remains mostly a mystery.
And tonight, people in the Roseway neighborhood gathered to address their safety concerns. KATU's Bob High is live near the scene of that attack. And Bob, police tell neighbors there's still not much to go on.
A scary situation, Deb. Whoever did this is still out there somewhere. Police have made no arrests, and there's still no explanation for this horrifying attack.
People were disappointed about the lack of, police commitment to being here.
Neighbors gathered inside Grace Evangelical Lutheran Church for a Roseway Neighborhood Association meeting. The March 10th stabbing that critically injured 18-year-old Eleanor Gage on everyone's mind.
Eleanor's doing really well. Her staples are out and she's recovering. I haven't talked to her mom to see how she's doing emotionally, but I think she's doing really well, according to what Kate has told everyone in the neighborhood.
I still keep looking for blood.
A week after the stabbing, neighbors retraced the route Eleanor took, walking home from a friend's house the night of the attack. Her mother thanked neighbors for messages of support.
The outpouring of support and all the kind words really mean a lot to me.
But neighbors are also frustrated there's no information about any suspect or reason for the stabbing.
The last I heard, they were still just pursuing whatever small leads they could get. They didn't have anything to share.
And you're looking at a live picture of one of the few streetlights in this area. Neighbors are now planning on petitioning the city for more streetlights in this area, hoping that lessens the chance of another attack. Live in Northeast Portland, Bob High, KATU News.
You can certainly understand their concern, Bob. Thank you. Some new information tonight on that massive fire in Wilsonville. The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office says there may have been a witness and they need to track them down. They released this video of a Jeep that was in the area. Deputies emphasize the driver is not considered a suspect right now. They just want to know if they saw anything. The fire started in an under construction condo complex March 31st and then spread to more than a dozen other buildings.
Happening right now, evacuations are underway in eastern Washington due to flash flooding. This is video of water rushing through Pullman earlier tonight. Rescue crews even responded to a number of businesses where more than a dozen people were stuck. Let's get the latest on conditions tonight from meteorologist Dave Selesky. Dave.
Boy, that rain all over the Pacific Northwest right now. Rainwater is going down right now on the western side of the Cascades, but just off in Pullman, Washington, plenty of flooding going on there on the east side of the Cascades. Now, locally, we still have flood warnings up through now Wednesday afternoon and going into Thursday morning, as you can see, for parts of western Oregon and into parts of southwestern Washington as well, as we're still dealing with some relatively high water across much of the area. And it's all the way from Portland down towards Eugene. Same story in portions of the east side of the Cascades. Now we'll advance the map. Radar at this time, just a few light rain showers out and about at this hour. The good news is the majority of rivers have crested and will begin to recede tonight and going into tomorrow on Wednesday as well. Now we do have another weather maker coming into the Pacific Northwest, but as you can see, our rainfall totals here in the last 24 hours, just 900ths out at PDX, a quarter of an inch out at Troutdale, and down towards Salem, you've had 1/100th of an inch of rain there in the last 24 hours. But on our things to know, rivers are receding, unseasonably damp and cool temperatures will continue, and we have low snow in the Cascades. We'll talk more about that and more about how much rain is on the way over the next 24 hours. See you guys in a few minutes.
Okay, Dave, thank you. Well, the threat of flooding is over, but other dangers on the water loom ahead. Byproducts of heavy rainstorms like heavy logs and debris are plugging up rivers and could cause boaters and kayakers unique challenges. KATU's Catherine Van is live in southeast Portland tonight. And Catherine, a lot of these logs you can't see above water.
No, and that's why it's so dangerous to be out on the water right now. Now, this is what the Willamette River has washed up today. As you can see, lots of debris. Now, docks like this can withstand high water levels. What it can't handle are large piles of logs.
All right, Alex, let's do it. I'm ready.
Members of the Rose City Rowing Club couldn't get on the water today. Instead, they took up another challenge.
It's like a forest out here. It's crazy. Yeah, a lot of logs.
They can't see much from down there, but from up here you can see all the debris and garbage that's washed up, like this water bottle, beer can. All of this can be dangerous to the docks and the boats that have to float on the Willamette River.
These trees are old, they're big, they're heavy, full of water, so it's a lot of strenuous work.
Andrew Setter and his teammates spent part of their afternoon pushing,
I think it's going to take all three of us.
thrusting,
You gotta. It's all in the hips.
and getting creative.
We got someone out here trying to pull the logs away while we push from the other side. It's a team effort.
It's not the job they signed up for as rowers, but they want to make sure the water is safe for everyone to enjoy.
We are definitely worried about the safety of our river, the upkeep of our river. We have to be out here every day, so we got to keep it really nice for ourselves and for everyone else.
So these warriors of the Willamette River are taking one for the team.
There it goes.
That was so easy. Are you kidding me?
Now, law enforcement does warn against pushing out these logs by yourself. It's extremely dangerous because water levels are high and the flow is heavy. Now, Willamette waterkeepers do tell me they are aware of the logs and they do plan on cleaning around the areas this week. We're live in Southeast Portland. Catherine Van, KATU News.
Catherine, thank you. The storm trackers will keep an eye on conditions all evening long and into tomorrow. You can also get updates anytime on KATU.com, as well as our Facebook and Twitter pages.
Well, check this out in Salem tonight. Crews have been working all evening to clear this massive tree that fell down. It has been blocking Chemeketa Street between 13th and 14th since just before 6 tonight. It also damaged some power lines and a natural gas line, but crews say things are safe now.
Tonight, we're hearing from a Newport woman who's feeling frustrated yet fortunate for an outpouring of support over her father's stolen Air Force jacket. A thief broke her car window and swiped it on Saturday in Northwest Portland. It was her father's jacket from his service in Vietnam. He recently passed away, so her son wears it frequently in his honor. Vicki Roller says hundreds of people have reached out over social media trying to track it down.
For a lot of people, it's just a jacket, but, you know, their service, there's people that serve in the military and they take a lot of pride in that, and their family takes a lot of pride in that. And so that so many people are trying to help us get back something that seems very small means a lot to us.
The jacket has a patch with the name Roller on the side, so if you see it or know someone who took it, call Portland Police.
A major U.S. gunmaker is asking the Supreme Court to hear a lawsuit filed by the families of Sandy Hook victims. That case is now being considered by Connecticut's Supreme Court, but Remington is asking for a stay so the High Court can take it up. At issue, a federal law that holds gun makers exempt from any crimes committed with their products. In 2012, a gunman used a Remington AR-15 to kill 20 children and 6 adults at Sandy Hook Elementary.
2 construction companies have been awarded funding to build a wall at the U.S. southern border. The Defense Department says nearly $1 billion have been contracted out. Companies will build more than 50 miles of fencing in Arizona and New Mexico. These are the first border wall contracts that will use funds repurposed from the Pentagon after President Trump failed to get Congress to approve border wall funding. The projects should be completed in October of 2020.
A fight for funding moves from the classrooms to the streets tomorrow. Local teachers, parents, and students are rallying over education funding. The president of the Portland Teachers Association says they're working with just 75% of the money they need. A funding bill is already in the works in Salem, but lawmakers say these things take time.
It's taken us a while to get where we are. It's going to take us a while to get out of it.
It's just roadblocks every step of the way from the time a child enters school until they hopefully graduate.
Tomorrow night's rally is at 5 at Pioneer Courthouse Square. Supporters are encouraged to ride MAX trains for more visibility and to wear the color red for Ed. Also tomorrow, Washington Governor Jay Inslee will have a national audience. CNN is hosting him in a town hall for his presidential campaign. Inslee will be in the hot seat answering questions from the audience, which will likely include some about his climate change agenda. Wolf Blitzer is moderating. That live town hall starts at 7 p.m. and we'll wrap it all up tomorrow night at 11.
Okay, so how's LeBron James working out for you Lakers fans? A year after luring him to L.A., Magic Johnson is leaving. Magic stepped down today from his role as the Lakers president of basketball operations. Nothing's gone according to plan with the team in year 1 with LeBron. After getting him, they missed out on other top free agents. Then they missed the playoffs, and now they'll be missing Magic.
I want to go back having fun. I want to go back being who I was before taking on this job. I think that I had more fun when I was able to be the big brother and ambassador to everybody.
Magic met for 3 hours just yesterday with team owner Jeannie Buss, but he announced his resignation to the media without telling her first. The two reportedly disagree on the team's direction. So did that change tonight against the Blazers? We have highlights soon.
Well, the video is incredible. This is the moment a couple survived a power pole crashing down onto their SUV south of Seattle. Investigators still don't know why 26 of those poles toppled over last Friday, but the video could hold some clues about what happened. KATU's Michelle Esteban has more.
The video is arresting. To see the aftermath, one thing, but now for the first time we see how it happened.
Scary, really, really scary, especially when you know what's coming up. I'm just glad that everyone was okay, more or less.
That's Ted Hutter with the Museum of Flight. They've had a front row seat, but nothing like this. More video, also released by Tukwila PD, shows a bicyclist seconds before another pole lets loose.
Anyone that was in that area, it had to be incredibly scary, and so my heart goes out to them. I'm incredibly thankful that they're healing, and they're pretty inspirational.
For the cooks who escaped with their lives, the question everyone has asked, including Seattle City Light, is how did this happen?
I'm waiting for them to find out what happened.
There certainly was weather happening at the time. I can see some pole or some line moving.
We know a third-party engineering firm is about to be hired to investigate and work with Seattle City Light.
We're going to be working 7 days a week. We're going to be working 12 hours a day until we get this accomplished.
Meanwhile, 13 customers are without power, including Raisbeck Aviation High, now on spring break, and parts of the Museum of Flight, including the popular Space Gallery and Aviation Pavilion.
It's always difficult to tell people that no, they won't be able to visit their favorite thing today.
Inside our organization, what we're trying to do is stay curious and not draw conclusions or speculate.
Michelle Esteban, KATU News.
A proposed bill to crack down on repeat drunk drivers in Washington is moving forward in Olympia. Today, House Bill 1504 passed the Senate Transportation Committee. Under it, if a driver gets 4 DUIs in a 15-year period, it becomes a felony and they'll go to prison. Right now, that period is 10 years. The bill now heads to the full Senate.
Oregon could be the next state to join the popular vote movement. The state Senate passed a bill to become part of the National Vote Interstate Compact. Those states promise to give their electoral votes for president to whoever wins the national popular vote. The compact only goes into effect once they have enough to reach 270 votes. That's the threshold needed to win the presidency. Oregon's bill now heads to the House.
Just minutes away, of all the things you might worry about at your kid's daycare, where does semi-truck hitting the building rank? See how this one turned out.
Plus, trouble on the tracks. A police chief sees something odd about a train, goes over for a closer look, and has a front row seat to it toppling over. Hear from him.
And move over, Ken Jennings set aside Roger Craig. The new record this guy just set tonight on Jeopardy. That guy right there. Those stories, plus Blazer Laker highlights in just 2 minutes.